Team Nationals recap coming right up. Mr. Clicksflix is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of the ROC. No matter if you're in the United States or around the world, Lucky Dice Cafe has the winning role for our gaming needs. You can visit them at luckydicecafé.com or on their Facebook page using the link found in the description of this video. This channel is also sponsored by trollandtoad.com, one of the largest online gaming retailers. Please use the promo code MrClicksFlix for 5% off your Heroclix order today. Alright guys, so like we talked about in the intro, we are discussing Team U.S. Nationals with teammate and co-founder of Critical Misdirection, Kalder Ness. Give you extra feathers and badges to put in your very awesome, illustrious cowboy hat there. So for the couple people who don't know about Dial H for Heroclix and you personally, why don't you go ahead and tell them about yourself?
Absolutely. So Dial H for Heroclix is a weekly podcast that I do with my co-host, Chris Britton. We put it on Podbean, iTunes, and it can pop up on all sorts of podcast apps. So it's really anywhere podcasts are found. It's even on YouTube to kind of compete with Jamie here. You know what I'm saying? So no, but we are a semi-casual, semi-competitive podcast. Chris talks about very much the casual side, about just characters he loves, about sculpts that are great, about all sorts of things, and I love all those too, but I also dip my toe in the meta, and I like to travel to tournaments, and I like to do all of that. So if you like a casual, yet a little competitive here and there talk, that's like the perfect podcast for you. We play plenty of fun games on our show, things that get the listener involved that are just really fun. We have a great sense of community. We do a community question every week. And overall, our show is just a very more positive, happy vibe about the world of Heroclix.
Yeah, it's a fun show to be on. I've been on there a couple times. It's always a fun time. Doing Bad Samaritan and your couple other games are always fun. You and Chris have put on a good show, so it's always fun to listen to. And then you guys also, you have a Facebook group and you have a Twitter page, yes, right?
So yeah, we have a Facebook page, Twitter page. We have an email you can always contact us at. We put all those links in our show notes, and we also put all that stuff up on Facebook. Definitely follow us both on both of those because we put the question out on both. And also, Chris is in charge of the Twitter. I'm in charge of the Facebook. So actually different things get posted each time. So it actually really works well if you follow both. It's really awesome. So check both of those out for sure.
Yes, very awesome. All right, so we are talking about U.S. Team Nationals. It was myself, you, and Mike Houghton, who plays in at Four Horsemen Comics in Morgantown, West Virginia. I go down there. That's sort of like my second home venue where I go. They have a lot of WizKids Opens and state ROCs for West Virginia and stuff like that there. So I drafted him because he's a pretty good player. If I lose there, that's normally who I'm losing to. So that's why he got drafted. He declined to come in and be on this show, so that's why he is not here. But you know, he's still with us in spirit. But anyway, so this was I was the only rookie on this team. You and Mike have both been involved in at least one of these.
In a team event, yeah.
Yeah, so, but it was pretty cool. So for people that don't know, basically what it is you get 6 boosters of a set, whatever the newest set is out. In this case, it was Black Panther and the Illuminati. And out of those 6 boosters, you have to get 3 teams together. And each one of your team members plays a team, and then you play against another team, and it's basically best out of 3. 2 out of your 3 team members have to win, and as long as 2 out of 3 keep winning, you'll keep progressing, is what it seemed like. And it was 4 rounds, and then cut to top 16, and then single elimination after that. So how we did as a team, we all did pretty good. Mike had the All-Star day. He was
the crutch. He was carrying us hard.
He was 5-1 on the day. I was 3-3. I think you were 2-4 or 3-3.
2 wins and all the other losses.
Hey,
yeah, 2 wins and whatever else.
You got your 2 wins when I was losing. So that's
right.
As long as we
it's
were
when it matters. It's when it
yes.
matters.
But we ended up, we were number 5 going in the top cut, and then we lost in top 8. I'm still not sure where we finished or where to get that information.
Yeah, it's bugging me the whole time.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to know. But anyway, we got some cool prizes for it. It was my first event, so I guess, what do you want to do? You want to talk about how we made the teams? You were on Married with Clicks the other night talking about it, so I kind of liked your shtick about that. So why don't we go ahead and talk about how we made our teams out of our thing, because we had 6 boosters to work with.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. Man, when we open boosters, I always get like this sealed rush. I'm like, we're gonna pull a chase, we're gonna pull a bunch of super rares. It's gonna be great. We pulled one super rare and one prime, and the rest was all rare. So I was instantly like really worried. But this set's actually really balanced for sealed. So even if you don't have expensive pulls or good pulls, you can still make a really good, like, solid team. So the rares we got were good. I mean, sure, one was Enigma and two were Captain Minerva or whatever, Dr. Minerva, which really sucked.
Yeah.
Like rare Spider-Man, rare Captain America, getting the super Taskmaster, Prime back Black Widow, and a few other, like, we got a lot of good support too in this set. So I was really happy with actually how we pulled, and we had a different way of making teams. This is normally how I've always made teams in team events. I've only played, what was it, 4 of these, and for the ROC, you actually got only 2 boosters that you could use for one of these like special team events. So it was kind of rough. It wasn't like a normal team event. So I did Battle World and Avengers Infinity. Avengers Infinity was terrible in sealed, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah,
it was just not good. It was really overpowered depending on what Colossal you pulled, and if you got a bunch of Doom Buggies or like something useless, you're like, wow, this is my team, I guess. Yep. So yeah. But this set actually did really well. Like, as you can see, I said we got a super rare and we got 1 prime for our rarity level wise, and we still made top 8, which is amazing. So basically how we broke it down to teams was I going into this, I'm like, if we can somehow get Captain America, if we pull Captain America, I have to play Captain America. And sure enough, we got that rare Cap, and it was like, all right, that's on Calder's team. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, guys, thank you. So we ended up building, just like to go over my team really quick. It was Captain America 100, Elektra at 75, shifting focus, only had the common and uncommon. The AIM Red, a 45-point common Captain Marvel, and then the rare Yelena Belova. That's a perfect 300-point team, and that was a really solid team that I was really happy with the day. The way I like to normally build teams is where if I lose my main guy, and this one's Captain America, do I still have enough firepower to try to finish off the damage I've done? And the answer is normally yes. Like, Elektra is a great secondary attacker. Captain Marvel is just an amazing attacker who can, like, ping people. I don't like using her as any kind of main attacker just because she only has a 10 attack, 3 damage, and I don't trust the 10 attack at all. And then we have Black Widow for tie-up, and then AIM Red for a little bit of support. There is no, well, that's a lie, Cap has prob. So there's not a lot of, like, a ton of support, but Captain America with prob, and then Black Widow getting rid of defenses, and AIM Red squad with empower enhancement really just made the team flow really well. So, like, that's how I decided to build my team. That's how I like to build my teams. I know Jamie and Mike were both different in how they made theirs, if you want to go into that.
Yeah. So my team ended up being a 300-point Avengers theme team, and that was really cool too because, like, at my 2 boosters, I think I'm who pulled the rare Cap, but, like, other than that, I didn't really have anything. I had, like, support figures. So, like, if it had just been 2 boosters sealed, I would have been kind of worried. But you guys, like, did really solid on your pool. So I ended up playing rare Spider-Man at 85 points. Then I played the number 001 Iron Man at 90 points. And then I played AIM White, AIM Blue, and Yellow Jacket. Was a perfect 300 points, plus 5 Avengers team. I don't think I lost map all day, which was good. So my thoughts were, I'm normally comfortable having a main attacker and then a backup attacker, and this had a lot of stat modifications because since it was a named theme team, that means I got Perplex and Outwit with my AIM White, and then if I pushed him to click 2, I also had support with a 15 defense defend, so I could heal up. I had the AIM Blue, which has leadership and prob on its first click. I had a bunch of theme probs. Spider-Man at 85 points starts off with Perplex. What's his name? Yellow Jacket can have Perplex or Outwit. Plus he has leadership on his first click, so that's good. And then Iron Man just hypersonicked over and back. The maps I brought with me, for some reason, ever since it came out, and I take it to sealed, I always do good with the Hedge Maze map because if I get a hypersonic attacker and there's no Colossals in a set, I can just hypersonic over the blocking and then hypersonic back, and they tend to not be able to get to me. So that was really my plan. When I won map roll, that was the map I played on all day, and it went really good. I don't really think if I was joking that day that if I had to do it over again, I would have played Spider-Man at 145. But I mean, I did so good. I'm not sure that I really would have done it. Although I had one match that we'll talk about later where it definitely earned its full 145 points. It was a pain to play against. But yeah, so that was pretty good. And then Mike's team, Mike played a glass cannon, which is really, I mean, he plays that kind of team a lot anyway, just on his own.
Yeah.
So he got Taskmaster, and he got Proxima Midnight. So he had two what I felt were really solid main attackers. And then he also had a Red and a Shield Diplomat and Everett K. Ross on his team. So he had like a +3 stat modifier plus the shield team ability to get him up another +2. I feel like he had something else too, but I'm not entirely sure. But that was the main parts.
Oh, he had that common Iron Man, the uncommon Iron Man. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the one without wit.
The AI one. The
one without wit.
Yeah.
That's what he had.
Yeah.
So he did really good. Like we said, he ended up winning all but the last match, which is where we fell out of. But yeah, I thought all of our teams were as solid as you could get. Like you were saying, Calder, there were just, you got that, what is he, uncommon Hulk, you've got uncommon Thor, common Iron Man, like just a ton of common and uncommons that are actually really good main attackers, that Proxima Midnight. Then there's a bunch of really good ones in the rare slot. I think super rares were probably the weakest for main attackers. Other than like Taskmaster and one or two others, I thought rare was a lot better.
Like, besides, I mean, the super rares are really good. Like, so Challenger, Champion, that Iron Man is in there.
Yeah.
What is it else? Captain Britain. I had great luck with Captain Britain before in a game. Super rares are like pretty good. Yeah. But you shouldn't bank on them. Like pulling a Collector in Sealed or Grandmaster doesn't really help you at all. Maximus is a waste of a super rare, as well as Hood, in my opinion. Other people can disagree. Yeah. However they want. And then there's Rune, who's a risk, and then there's a few of the super rares, but for the most part, especially in like some other sets, like I would say X-Men Xavier School, if you pulled a super rare, you're almost like
guaranteed to do good.
To win. And then even if you pulled a chase, like unless it was a Cyclops or Iceman or Angel, you weren't really having a good time because that Beast and that Jean Grey aren't that good. So it's so weird how in certain sets, like the super rares are better than the chases most time. I would say in this set, the chases were 1,000 times better than the super rares. Yeah. Except for maybe that Iron Man. But like Panther, Red Skull, Captain America, like these are all amazing. Kobik, if you have the right amount of support around it. Like this, and we saw a lot of chases in top 8. I only ever played against one chase the entire day. I don't know about you, James, but it definitely seemed that, hey, pulling chases is good or something, Yeah,
definitely. The 2 out of the 3 matches I lost were to a chase Red Skull. The one chase Red Skull ended up basically poisoning my team to death because I knew that it was on the card, but I didn't realize where I was at on the dial. So, he basically poisoned my team to death. And then the other one that I played against, he had enough support to where he was swinging a 14 for 6 damage, and he had a Voyager. So he was able to TK him wherever he needed to go for the single target pulse wave.
Wow.
So that really, like 2 turns in a row, he took out Spider-Man, then he took out Iron Man, even though I was trying to protect them. And then after that, my team, I was able to take out all of his support and get him down to just Red Skull. But, I mean, realistically, after I lost those 2 characters, I knew I was just trying to get points and hoping that one of you two did good. Or that you two did good, but obviously it didn't work out quite that way. But, overall, I had fun days. I had one match that I thought that was really good, and I actually ended up playing the guy in singles nationals, and he got his revenge. So don't worry. But we were playing. It was, I think, right before the round before cuts. The round before cuts. He was playing a full point Spider-Man. I think he had a Hulk and something else on his team. Yeah, and he was really, really good and really tough to play against. We both did really good on our positioning, and it ended up by the end of the game, it was just his Spider-Man versus my Spider-Man. And if I played mine at 85 and he played his at 145, obviously that means he's up on points. And it was tough because I kept hitting, but he made 4 shape change rolls and 4 super senses rolls, and it was nightmarish to try to deal with it. But eventually I did connect and get him down off of those shape change clicks, And then once I did that, my dice seemed like they were interested in taking care of me. Because we were both to the point where we were just basically, instead of picking flurry on our offensive turns, like would normally be prudent, we were playing super defensive and picking combat reflexes and stealth to try to bump us up. So we were doing that for a little bit, not really hitting each other. I tried to run away for a minute because I was up on points because I had Iron Man and Spider-Man still for a while, but then he KO'd my Iron Man because he was hurt bad from fighting the Hulk. And then once that happened, just the way the tokens lined up, it's weird how sometimes just the actions line up to where you can't really get away, and that's what happened. And we ended up having the same speed values, so even if he did get away, he wasn't going to get very far. So I ended up just really, when it got to that point in the match, I knew that we were getting close to time, so I was Speedy Gonzalez through my turns. I was like, okay, I'm doing this and this, roll the dice, okay, your turn. And then he'd do his thing. I'd be like, okay, I'm doing this and this, rolling the dice, okay, it's your turn. And we did that, and eventually I got him down to, it was either his last click or second to the last click, where he has like a 16 defense with toughness or 16 with energy shield. And I picked Flurry. And I was like, I'm being done with this. I don't think there had to be under a minute left, because after I ended the turn, time was called.
Oh, wow.
And so I hit with just enough to KO him, ended up getting the win, and we needed that one, and that one got us in. So that was probably my most memorable match of the night. There were some other really close ones. I played a bunch of good people. My first match was probably my least pleasurable experience, because I played against one of those people that were, it's within the confines of the rules, but no dice had rolled, but he wanted to act like you couldn't do anything. So I understood the venue where I was at, so I didn't make a big deal about it, but it did kind of make me nervous. Like for the next 2 rounds, I was kind of on tilt for it. Something. What's that?
It's kind of on edge a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
kind of on edge a little bit. So, but after I got that out of my system, I was fine. It was my own fault when that happened anyway. But yeah, overall pleasurable experience. Liked everybody I played. Really happy that we got to top 8. I thought the prizing was really phenomenal. Hoping to play with both you guys next year and expanding our ranks. I'd like to try to get like 4 critical misdirection teams up there.
Yeah, that's 4. Okay, wow, here we go.
So, but definitely it was a fun experience. I like the format. I liked everything about it. How about you? Did you have any matches where you like, this is really my clutch match of the day?
My clutch match of the day was the first one I played, honestly. And it turns out that would have been true, because it was super close. So I played against Chase Captain America. He had Medusa, and he also had, what was her name? Crystal. So we had a lot of free attacks.
Yeah.
Free attacks on his team. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I had to... I chose the wrong side of the map. I didn't see his crazy strategy of putting a little barrier up this only piece of stairs, and then Captain America just sidesteps back. So he was really smart with the way Captain America was. He would double token up, he would sidestep back, he would come out, shoot, take a shot, he would sit on a heavy object all the time. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't ready for these next level strats in sealed, because I just built this game. This is the first game I ever played, and I pulled out a win like crazy. And I'm going to say luck was on my side. So he blasted my Captain America right away. It didn't matter, I had charge, but still, when you get hit for 5, it really hurts.
Yeah.
So Captain America was taken out of like the running, besides occasionally making little pot shots. When you take 3 damage, you have like a 10 attack, 3 damage that way, and like that's it.
Yeah.
So he loses his leadership, he loses all this other cool stuff. So he was staying back, and I would literally I would move him out of the way, and then I would keep him whatever per prob on my turn, and then I would just move him out of the way. And then I'd sidestep him back up, he would prob, move him out of the way again, clear him, sidestep, like whatever. Captain America, I was like, I just can't let Captain America die. I don't want him to give him like this easy of 100 points. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it was trying to get Elektra to pop off. That was my biggest thing in the game ever. So it's kind of move up Yelena, base everybody else, turn off ESD, all this other stuff, and just try to, Elektra go kill something. It's great. Living Hair, Elektra loves Living Hair, because that's a character she can KO like that. All it takes is one easy KO, and if you roll, more like a 3 or higher, you're making 2 more attacks, which is awesome. I mean, 1 more attack is always great. You're guaranteed 1 more attack. When you roll a 6 or a 5, and you're like, I got to make 3 more attacks. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And even with a 10 attack, I throw a perplex on there or whatever. It's brutal. Electra is awesome in sealed, and I love it. So, it really came down to Electra and Black Widow kind of tag teaming. The Crystal and the Medusa and all this other stuff, kind of getting that taken care of and out of the way. Mm-hmm. And then it was trying to figure out how to kill Captain America. I know he's got 6 clicks to life. I know he can only take 1 at a time. And at the end, it was like 20 minutes before time. I didn't realize how fast I was playing. So it was like a barely 30-minute game that I played here, just because once I see something like that sitting across the board, my mind just goes into pure overdrive, just figuring out whatever. Maybe there's some sloppy positioning along the way, but still. Mm-hmm. And it came down to that Captain America on his last click. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I got 1 prob on it, and the aim agent rolled an 11. And I was so impressed with the aim agent hitting a 19 defense. Like, I need a 9. Here we go. And I roll an 11. I'm like, well, I asked for something pretty high, and I got something even higher, so I was really happy. So pulling out that win, and it wasn't even just based on the 11. I mean, I had more attacks to make. So if someone's like, oh, you got in all this luck, there's a lot of luck to it. It's a dice-based game, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But that was just such a close game. Like, I was sweating at the end of it. I was like, oh, man, that really worked for me, and I did not see that coming, So that was just an amazingly close game. I'm very happy that I was able to win it. Otherwise, it probably would I don't want to say, without me, we wouldn't have made whatever, but just for how close that game was, and then I heard that, you didn't win, and then oh, Mike, and then Mike won. I was like, phew, it's crazy. And really for anyone who wants to get into, Team Sealed, go to anything. So at Gen Con, there's only going to be a 2-person Team Sealed, which kind of sucks. Because 3 people is always awesome. But any event, so there's Rocktober, there's still Worlds, all these events have a team sealed event. It's the most fun I've ever had. Way more fun than singles. It brings this sense of camaraderie to everybody. You're rooting for people. I didn't know Mike, personally, really. I played with him a few times, but I've never met him before that day. And I was like, Mike's a really cool guy. I'm really happy that he's on my team. Yeah. And I just had fun with it. We ate later. There was this beautiful sense of community that you don't normally get when you just play singles, because then it's like Scott Pilgrim versus the World when you're playing singles. You're just so worried about whatever. And in teams, it's okay for you to stumble. Try not to stumble too much, but it's okay because your team kind of has your back if they get the wins and stuff. So that was awesome. It's seriously a beautiful experience, and I really can't recommend it enough. I already like Sealed, so if you like Sealed and you want to make more friends or have a really cool experience, Teams is the way to go. And honestly, even if you aren't competitive, you should really try a team event out just anytime, because it's so much fun. Oh
yeah, definitely good. Yeah, and I can agree. I started off the day 0-2, and I've never rooted for another Heroclix player as much as I was rooting for you guys, because it seemed like all day except for that one match against where I barely beat out that other Spider-Man team, I was the first one done. And it was just me watching you guys saying, "Oh, please, do this for me because I just dropped this." But it was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of camaraderie. If you ever played a sport, it's very similar to that. Being on a team, it was a good experience. Definitely looking forward to doing it again. I liked it way more than I like regular Sealed, because of the team aspect of it. So definitely cool. This was their biggest one, I guess, ever, they said. Yep. Now, I don't know if it was bigger than Worlds, but there was 208 people making up 64 teams, which is a lot of people. So definitely cool event. It was very well run by everybody. I know the couple times I needed to judge, they sprinted over. I was like, calm down, guys. We don't gotta be like that. It's just a small question. But they were Johnny on the spot. Everybody gave well thought out rulings the couple times I needed them, even if they didn't work out the way I wanted them. Everything was run on time. I think when they made it so that we didn't have to turn in the slips anymore, and we just went up, basically the 2A players went up and told them how the matches went. I thought it went a lot smoother. There was a lot less downtime. I thought, for an event that big, it's going to run a little bit slow, but I thought it went as quickly as you could reasonably expect it. And then, like you said, just going out to dinner and stuff afterwards, getting to see the other teams that you played against, see how they did. It was a good experience. Definitely looking forward to doing it again. So the prizing, I guess we can touch on the prizing, like what we got for doing top 8, and then we can get out of here because we're like 25-ish minutes. So we were hoping to make
this far, guys. Good
job. Yes, it's a good job. So you guys let me know in the comments below, out of the 3 teams we talked about that we had, which one would you be most likely to play? Which would you be most comfortable playing? I always like reading that kind of stuff in the comments section, interacting with you guys. But so the prizing for top 8 was as follows. So we got a whole set of the Mandarin rings.
Yep.
And the Remaker ring, and Proxima Midnight Spear, Corvus's Glaive, and Exospecs. So that was really cool prizing then, especially if you're like one of those people that are looking to flip your prizes to try to pay for your trip. I mean, that's like 8 times 20.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So there's that. And then we got 1 copy of each of the purchasable LEs, which is really awesome because I, at the end of the weekend, realized that I didn't buy any for myself, and they were all out of everything. So it was definitely nice to be able to get a few things. I only ended up keeping 1 for myself, but that was definitely some cool prizing. And then as you moved up, you got more stuff. But I thought it was definitely very fair prizing. Each of us got a full set of everything. So really cool on them. I thought the prizing was good. How would you think about it?
I thought it was awesome. This is the most prizing I ever got in a team event. We normally don't do that well. So
yeah,
I was super ecstatic with it. It's kind of like one of those times you wish you could tell the future, because like, man, I wouldn't have bought a Mammoth or a Magneto. I was just gonna get them, but like, it was awesome. And as well, it also gave us a buy into nationals, getting top 8, which I believe most of us already had, but that's still a really cool thing. Because grinders are shut down that day. So if you're like last ditch effort, here we go. You can still get a top national sponsorship or qualification, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think really top 16 got you the qualification, right? And we were all you got yours in a grinder the day before, and me and Mike were qualified beforehand, so we were all set on that. But that was cool, get double qualified. And, and like I said, I think Mike said the best he'd ever done before was top 8, and I'd never done it before. And quite frankly, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was like, if we can break even, just go like 2 and 2, I'd be happy. But we far exceeded my expectations. I thought we did really well. And like I said, got to play against some cool people. Didn't get to play against any. Did we play any like famous teams that a lot of people know about? I don't think so.
I really don't think so. I don't want to like discount anyone we did play. But we didn't play against any like Clicksman or Juggernaut or whoever. Yeah. So that's I think it's okay. It's just how the pairings rounded up, which is weird. It's that weird like how tournaments go sort of thing. So that's always it's just kind of the way it is. But the people I played against were all very happy at the end of like every game I played. We were like laughing or joking, win or loss on my side or their side. We were like, that was a really fun game we had, and like even though it was competitive Heroclix or whatever, we were just having a good time. And I just really like the atmosphere of teams like so much. It was just so great, and I would seriously, I can't stress this enough. Everybody should go do it. It's so much fun. Yeah,
it was definitely good. It was weird. It was a different atmosphere because it was competitive, but people were relaxed and laughing and having a good time, and it reminded me that it's a game, like, and it seemed like everybody got that while we were there, and they were playing their A game and doing their best, but they were still laughing, and like you can't really do too much like if your dice aren't cooperating or something like that. So it was really cool. I liked seeing all the team jerseys. Like I had Edward Shelton on the other day, and he was talking about that. I thought that was really cool too, to see like people almost kind of like repping colors for stuff like that. I thought that was fun. But yeah, it's just really interesting. So that, I guess, that's all the topics we had for today.
Fantastic.
Was just talking about Team Nationals, and we are pretty much at a half hour on the nose. So Calder, you got anything else you want to close the program out with?
Yeah, one real quick thing.
Yeah.
Besides that, everyone should go do teams. You should do it anywhere you can, at all. You should still play in sealed events. But as a reminder, I am with the Dial H for Heroclix podcast. We're on iTunes. We're on Podbean. We pop up on all sorts of other apps. So check us out on any podcast platform. We talk about meta. We talk about the casual stuff. We just like to have a good, friendly atmosphere at the show. Check that out at Dial H for Heroclix on Facebook and Twitter. Listen to the podcast. If you somewhat enjoyed this episode of just me, imagine sort of two me's and then going at it for an hour and a half. So absolutely, just come on down and listen.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of my favorite podcasts. Like just to kind of kick on and have in the background, just listen to you guys. Like just have fun. It sounds when you listen to it, like even when you're not on it, when you just listen to it, it sounds like you guys are having fun. So it's kind of contagious. So it's definitely cool for that. So all right, as for me, make sure to join the Mr. Clicksflix Facebook group. That is in the description of this video. You can get to me on Twitter at Mr. Clicksflix. And also, if you are interested in supporting the channel, stop on over at patreon.com/Mr. Clicksflix. I believe Dial H also has one of those, and I am also one of their people. So definitely support them too, because that stuff really helps all the creator channels grow. That's all we have for you guys today. As always, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.
Happy trails.